Right, good morning, grade 9s. I just quickly want to skip through the homework. So what the teacher can maybe do, who is showing this to you guys, is pause once we get to the slide and let everyone first copy and mark their work. And then if there's anything that has to be said, just listen to that, skip to the next, and pause again, just to give you guys time to write it down. Okay, so number 1. All we had to do here is take that times 2 over, so it becomes divided by 2. Remember, this middle step you didn't have to do, and a quarter divided by 2 will give me 1 over 8. Okay, number 2, minus 3/4 x is equal to 4. I take that times minus 3/4 over. Please remember that that becomes divided by still negative 3/4. That negative does not change, okay? Right, oh, you guys can't see this, so your answer there will be negative 16 over 3. Number 3, I first have to take that minus 1 over, so it becomes plus 1. Then 2 plus 1 gives me the 3. Now I've got to get rid of the coefficient, so times a quarter, if I take it over, it becomes divided by a quarter. Again, you don't have to write this step. I'm just showing you guys how I got there. 3 divided by a third gives me 9. Okay, number 4. First things first, I have to get rid of, let me just pick a different color, of that plus 4. So that I'm going to take over. It becomes minus 4. 3 minus 4 gives me minus 1. Now I've got to get rid of the coefficient. So if I take that coefficient, this was 3 over 5 times x. So if I take it over, it becomes divided by 3 over 5. And your answer will then be minus 5 over 3. Okay, and then at number 5, first get rid of this because we want normal numbers on the right-hand side and unknowns on the left-hand side. So this plus 5 over 3, if I take it over, it becomes minus 5 over 3. 1 minus 5 over 3 is going to give me minus 2 over 3. Then I've got to get rid of that times a quarter. So if I take it over, it becomes divided by a quarter. And that will give you minus 8 over 3. Or if you wanted to write it as a mixed number, minus 2 and 2/3. Right, number 6. On the left-hand side, you could first go and simplify. So a 7th x minus 1 over 6x, and remember we use our calculators, will give you minus 1 over 42x equal to 3/4. Now I've got to get rid of that minus 1 over 42, and that's actually times x. So if I take it over, it becomes divided by minus 1 over 42. Please remember that that negative 1 over 42 stays a negative. And that's going to give you minus 63 over 2. Okay, at number 7, we first had to get rid of the brackets, so we multiply in that 4. So 4 times x gives me 4x. 4 times 2 over 3 gives me 8 over 3. Okay, still equal to minus a half. Now I want unknowns on the left. This unknown is already on the left. Normal numbers on the right, which means that this has got to move over, so that then becomes minus 8 over 3. Now minus a half minus 8 over 3 is going to give me minus 19 over 6. Now I can get rid of the coefficient, so if I take that over, it becomes divided by 4. So your final answer will then be minus 19 over 24. Okay, number 8. Again, get rid of the brackets first. So 2 times a half x gave me x. 2 times 4 gave me 8. Now on the right-hand side, same story. A third times 3/4 x will give me a quarter x. And a third times 1 is going to give me a third. Okay? Now, once we get to this step, we now want unknowns on the left and normal numbers on the right. So this x was already on the left, so that's going to stay there. The quarter x, we want to move that to the other side, which means that that's going to become minus a quarter x. Then on the right hand side, we want our normal numbers. The third is already on the right, so that stays a third. The plus 8 has got to move to the right hand side, so that becomes minus 8. Okay, so if I simplify both sides, remember that over here I actually have a 1 in front of that x. So 1x minus a quarter x will give you 3/4 x, and a third minus 8 is going to give you minus 23/3. Now I've got to get rid of the coefficient, so if I take it to the other side, it's going to become divided by 3/4, and that gives you minus 92/9. Remember, we use our calculators for this, no? Okay, number 9. We first got to sort out these two by multiplying them. So 2/3 times 2x is going to give me 4/3x. Now I want unknowns on the left, which means that this 1/8x has got to move over, and it then becomes the minus 1/8x. If I subtract 4/3x minus 1/8x, and remember we use our calculator, so 4/3 minus 1/8 will give you 29/24x equal to 2. Now I want to get rid of that coefficient, so that step I didn't write in here, that should actually be x is equal to 2 divided by 29/24, and that then gives you the 48/29. Okay, but then the last one, cube root of 1/8 will be 1/2. Cube root of x to the power 3. To the power of 3 and the cube root cancels each other out, so that's why I only have left x. Okay, now it looks like our previous sums. So to get rid of this coefficient, I'm going to take it over and say 4 divided by 1/2, and that's going to give you 8. Okay, right, I hope you guys understand. If you've got any questions, then we can sort those out on Monday. Your homework is going to be exercise 3.4, that is on page 34. You only do number 1 and 2. Okay, it's word sums, which I know most of you don't like, but try. Don't just leave blank spaces. Okay, hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Bye.